part 2 of Asherah being redacted from ancient texts well into the 3rd through the 1st centuries BCE. We last left off with Deuteronomy 33 verses 2 and Ezekiel 8 verses 3 possibly having a positive reference to the wife of Yahweh, Asherah. The next scripture is 2 Samuel 5, and David is up against the Philistines, and Yahweh gives him instructions on how he can defeat them. In the Hebrew, we have this phrase, "When you hear the sound of the marching in the tops of the balsam trees, then be on the alert, for the Lord has gone out before you to strike down the army of the Philistines." In the Greek, it reads, "When you hear the sound of clashing together from the grove of weeping instead of the tops of the balsam trees." So where in our Hebrew Bibles, where we read tops, it's likely that the Greek translator read the enclosure of the weeping, Asherah. This scripture would be a positive reference to Asherah and the sound that the trees make when the wind blows. That's so cool. Now, there is some debate on the meaning of Asherah's name. I've talked about this before. In my opinion, from what I've read, I think it means something like grove, sanctuary, holy place. This book is The Cult of Asherah in Ancient Israel and Judah by Judith Hadley, and it says, an early suggestion of Albright was that the term means holy place, sanctuary. This book is from William Dever, Did God Have a Wife? And it says, the Greek Septuagint translation, as well as the Latin Vulgate, were obviously much closer to the original unvocalized Hebrew. Both understand Asherim as groves, that is, connected with trees. The Septuagint regularly translates Asherah with Greek alsos, which means sacred grove, hallowed precinct. There are a few exceptions, 2 where dendron or tree is used, and 1 where we have the goddess Astarte. Looking at the differences between the word grove in the Greek and the Hebrew are kind of like producing anomalies that we might actually see a positive reference to Asherah hidden. Scripture is Jeremiah 17:8, and it reads, "They shall be like a tree planted by water, sending out its roots by the stream. It shall not fear when heat comes, and its leaves shall stay green. In the year of drought it's not anxious, and it does not cease to bear fruit." The Greek replaces "its leaves remain green" by "the trunks on it will be grove-like" or Asherah-like. The Hebrew source may have read something like "its branches will be like Asherah." I'm running out of time, but what this means is that while people may say that Asherah was erased sometime in the time of the revisionist history like Josiah and Hezekiah, I say that in the Greek-speaking world of Hellenization that has many different deities and belief systems, seeing the name of a goddess like Asherah would not be out of the ordinary. This is around the movement of the Gnostics. We have to stop seeing things through a Christian colonized lens.